Dear Polarion users, welcome to our webinar about new features of Polarion 22R2. Our company Garantis IT Solutions regularly makes reviews of the new features. We try to install and test the new servers as soon as it comes out on the market. And today we want to look at new features, REST API, usability improvements, integrations, performance, and also many more features which came out in latest release. We are a technical partner for Polarion ALM. Our company, Garantis IT Solutions, works since 2014. We develop special customizations. We work with HTML, SQL, Velocity, Python scripts. We created ISO 26262 template, and we help customers to improve usage of Polarion in many different ways. So, what is new and newsworthy in Polarion 22R2? We can easily find out the full list of features from official website of Polarion. Let's have a look at the website. Here is the link, and you can see that it's well documented, so you can read for yourself, but we would like to give you some overview of those features which we think are quite important and very useful. And also we want to have a slightly deeper dive into some of these features, such as REST API. We already have example of a working REST API integration. So let's move on. Our best choice of features in this release are REST API, diagram editor, usability features located in different places of pages, backup and reindexing improvements. So REST API. It was not before in Polarion. It is first time when it came out in the release. And what do we have? Simple introduction to REST API. It is a way to connect applications. You can take Polarion, you can take another software tool, and you can use REST API to make the connection. You can call functions of Polarion from your software tools, and you can manipulate the data, you can extract the data, and this way you create a new way to integrate and connect applications. So REST API is representational state transfer API. It is done using standards like JSON and HTTP in this particular implementation, and it is based on JSON API and also Open API specification, formerly known as Swagger specification. If we move to real world, then in reality we quite often need complex solutions. On the picture we can see the structure of existing Polarion, which was before this release. We could use different web clients, Chrome, Firefox, and we would use interfaces to connect to functionality of Polarion. So you could use web services, HTTP, HTTPS, Java Open API, SOAP, XML as a data transfer protocol, and you could use wide range of functionalities such as project management, requirements management, release management, test management, and so on, which is implemented in Polarion. Now below we have different certified technology partners. These are providers of other software tools, and these tools can be integrated with Polarion. And quite often they use web services to connect. Now we can move to the new world of using REST API. And using REST API we can in a similar way connect to the same applications. We can also connect to our custom software tools shown in the yellow box below in the corner, and we can also connect to other software tools which use REST APIs such as Microsoft Office, Teams, other applications which are not shown on this picture. And from those applications, if we move to the left side, we can use multiple functionalities of Polarion, those which are displayed in the blue color in the central part of the picture. So as you can see, there are a lot of possibilities to build extensive connectors and to give a nice usable connectors and functionalities for your end users. So let's have a look at a real REST API example. We've built this with our partner Asselsys, and they integrated with our help new Polarion and their application, which is using Google Maps and showing data about infrastructure. So there are different houses, so database of houses, elevators, and some of them need maintenance. And using Polarion, we look after this infrastructure, and we can find out on the map in the application which item needs attention, and we store all information in Polarion, such as status, coordinates, description, responsible person. So let's watch the video. First, we can see that in administration of Polarion we created a new work item. It's called elevator, and the work item has different custom fields, and there are different enumerations to define values. And now we go to the Polarion interface, and there are different work items already created. These are our elevators. They have coordinates, they have descriptions, and they will be shown on another page in the separate software. So this is a separate software from company Asselsys, and we can look at the map. It is part of the application, and we can find out which objects need maintenance. So we have done a query inside application, and now we can see the same statuses in Polarion. So some of them are okay, some have issue, the red color item. Now we will change the status of one of the items. So maintenance is pending. And now, after update, we will see the new status in this application. So let's move to the next page, which shows us the documentation of REST API. Polarion documented REST API in a very good way. You can get description of REST API functions. You can get small examples of the source code, but at the moment only the main core functions are implemented. So this is a colorful list of functions for documents, for linked work items, for the page attachments, and these are all the functions which are available at the moment. So we can see they are separated into document section, linked work item section, page attachment, pages, projects. We can get the project roles for the users, user groups and users, attachments of work items, and some functions for work items themselves, like get work items and patch work items. More functionality will come with every new release of Polarion. It means in spring 2023, and also later in the next releases, the REST API functionality will grow. This is example of JSON specification. On the small screenshot, you can see the Polarion REST API documentation. This is from a HTML page of Polarion, and we can see the JSON specification which defines the interface. Also, on the same help page, you can find references to the source code, and you can copy paste the example and try it in your source code. So this was about REST API, and now let's look at usability features. So the first usability feature is navigation panel. It introduced some functionalities for breadcrumbs, create button, application header, and I will show some of them in the videos. So here we are looking at a Drive pilot project, and you can see that we can click on the create button, and we get a special menu where there are many useful shortcuts. So let's watch the video again. Okay, the next functionality is table view editing. Now you don't need to switch to the work item description below. You can edit some of the fields already in the table where you see work items similar to Excel view. And you can edit textual fields, but you can also edit some of enumeration fields, not all of them. So for example, status you cannot change, but you can change severity. So let's watch the video how it works. Now we are editing the title. And we can change some other textual fields such as estimation time, remaining time. So the next feature is file name editing in export to PDF. In 22R2, the PDF would be exported with a default name and you cannot change the name. But in the new version, there is a special field, file name, and you can type or change the existing name to whatever you prefer. The file name editing for PDF export can be used for live report pages. This is shown on the left side, and also for live documents. This is shown on the right side. You click on export to PDF, and then you get a similar export to PDF dialog box where you can change the name of the file. Diagram editor update contains many nice and useful features. First of all, we have much more predefined primitives and shapes. So there are some items from UML 2.5, SysML, BPMN 2.0, and you can see them in the center of the screen under items general, MISC, advanced, basic. Below is UML, and there are many more shapes. It is quite extensive and it's nice to use them. I already tried them myself. Updated the diagram editor to latest version of Draw.io, which helps first of all to create nicer diagrams, but also it brings compatibility. You can copy paste some diagrams from other systems and insert them inside Polarion. This is really a nice feature because the previous version was quite old. Possibility to insert image from local file system. This is for PNG or JPEG images. You can import Microsoft Visio files, VSDX, into the diagram editor. That's also quite nice. And you can copy paste diagrams from Jira Confluence if you want to move or migrate Confluence to Polarion. So let's watch the video how it works. We can see different diagrams available. There are pretty big choice, and you need to study what is now available for you. So this was a diagram editor. Then a nice feature, it's quite small but quite often quite handy, single-click copying. You can copy now ID and title as a link, and you don't need to select the data using mouse and then using Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and this is how the feature works. Now we insert ID and title and the link together. Configurable icons. This is quite a popular feature. It was requested by many customers to be able to distinguish the projects, to understand where you are in the projects. All the projects in Polarion, they had the same color, the same icon. Now you can change the color and you can change the icon. And I will show it in a video a little bit later. Here you can see on the left side for the drive pilot we selected the car, and we also changed the color to the greenish color. Keeping work item selection, it helps when you refresh the work item table and then you don't lose the focus. Let's see how it works. So we selected work item, and now we click refresh and the focus stays on the selected work item. And now we will select another work item, scroll somewhere else, refresh the page, and we jump to our selection. That's very good for those who work in the table view. The next feature is configurable scope for linked work item picker. So when you pick the work items, you want to make a link or you want to select some of them, now you can use some configurations. There is very nice usability improvement which allows to insert HTML snippets. So you can add a custom button or notification toolbar, which is now on the screen. You can see P2 maintenance Polarion update is planned. This is notification toolbar. Many customers asked for this. They want to give announcement to the users to tell them that server will be switched off at the weekend, or maybe something is happening, or maybe a new project is created. So now you can do it quite easily. You can also, using HTML snippets, remove existing buttons. You can attach analytics on top of your Polarion interface or implement onboarding solution. So there are many possibilities. And this functionality works using HTML and JavaScript. For the server management, there are also some improvements. First of all, backup and restore. You can see results of search in the help, There are different topics about backup and restore, and one of the main differences or improvements is backup and restore of indexes, which are used by Polarion, including Lucene indexes, PostgreSQL database, Polarion object maps, and so on. So this is not real data, this is indexes, but it takes time to reindex, to rebuild them. So it's a good idea to backup them and restore if they are broken. This is how you configure the backup. This information can be found inside help. There is a new job. You need to insert this job definition into your Polarion administration, into the scheduler. And then you can restore from backup, but this is more a manual operation. You can also find instructions in help. And just for information, this is not a new feature, it's just informative page. If you want to backup Polarion, the first and the main place to backup is Subversion repository. So there are some other items such as project builds and reports, but some of them they can be reconstructed. Subversion repository is at the main place where the data is stored. So please backup it on a regular basis. Other features in this release include Jenkins connector, recif changes, some other improvements inside help. There is a student edition of Polarion for the students. They can use it for free for some time. There are performance and scalability improvements, technology updates, security patches. So we really recommend you to upgrade, to use the latest and greatest Polarion and security patches. So now we will show you some video with improvements of GUI. Let's watch the video.
To simplify the navigation between projects and help users understand what context they are working in, Polarion added a new navigation header with the following features: a project selector that displays a customizable project icon and background icon. It can be customized in administration panel, simply selecting the shortcut that is connecting with your project, and you can select color, save it, and organize your repository. The project icon background feature lets your users easily determine what project they are currently in and avoid creating artifacts in wrong places. A configurable Create button lets your users easily create artifacts wherever they are in Polarion. From documents, the default Quick Create dialog configuration lets you create work items of any type defined in current project, create documents of any type defined in current projects, import Word and recif documents, create rich pages, spaces, plans, test runs, and collections. A breadcrumb trail lets you easily identify where your selected artifact is located. Here is a path. In previous versions of Polarion, to make some changes inside work item, you need to get into edit section and then you can make some changes in fields. You can now edit some work item fields directly in the work item table and tree views. Just double click on an editable field on a work item to activate the editor. Updated fields are highlighted in blue until you save them. Inline editing in table and tree views, the 22R2 release implements the first stage of this feature and allows you to edit the following field types: string, integer, float, currency, duration, date, boolean, enumeration custom fields of single selection. Now, in Polarion 22R2, after you save changes in the work item, table and tree views, Polarion remembers your selected work item, saving your time when navigate. And when I refresh the table, Polarion keeps the selection. And it makes you focused on your current tasks. Diagramming. Embedded diagram editor now updated to the latest version of Draw.io, and you have access to a huge number of additional shapes. SysML, BP, MN and UML shapes are also now supported. It now supports the import of MS Visio files too. Now, in new version of diagram, it is possible to import a file from a device. You can save it and reuse it in your different projects. Now, in new version of Polarion, there is configurable PDF export file name. Default names can be dynamically built from a combination of plain text and variables.
Right, so these are the GUI improvements, and now we move to the next slide. So Garantis IT Solutions is a technical partner for Polarion ALM support. We are happy to discuss your needs, your ideas. You can contact us via email, web sites, or you can call us. And this is what we could do for you. Services and support. We can upgrade your Polarion server to the new version 22R2. We can provide services and consultancy to bring the new features into your projects, development, integrations, REST API. We can do the trainings, either about new Polarion or about your project or general Polarion trainings. And it is very easy to work with us. You can start to work with us from a small work package of only 5 days. You can pay as you go. When you use our services, you pay for that. You don't use them, you don't pay. And we can start our implementation work 2 weeks from the start of contract. This is what we have done for many different customers. Project templates, reports, plugins. We provide support for servers where there are 1,000 and more users. We support installations of different Polarion servers in Amazon or Microsoft clouds, and many different customizations. What is missing in Polarion is a good question for many customers. and your feedback is important for the community of Polarion ALM. If you have something what you need and it is not there, did you create GTAG ticket for Siemens? This way you tell Siemens that it is needed feature, and the more customers ask for it, the faster it comes. Did you try to develop solution, extension, report, or some integration? It is quite possible either with REST API, which is in new version, or with web services from the previous versions, or maybe just using Velocity Python scripts or PSO scripting engine. And you can always ask Garantis. We already work on many tasks and improvements. Maybe something we are working on is what is needed for you, and we can develop a custom solution for you. So please contact us if you need any support, and thank you for your attention today. Now you know about the new features of Polarion 22 R2.